Well, tsunami waves are expected to hit the Washington coast in about 30 minutes. The National Weather Service predicts La Push will be hit around 11:35. Places like Westport, Port Angeles, even Bellingham, possibly Tacoma could see some waves. Right now, those waves are expected to be less than a foot, so nothing major. Still, State Parks says ocean beaches are closed until further notice. Officials in San Juan, Island, Clallam, and Jefferson counties, among others, are warning people just to stay out of the water, stay away from shore, because currents can be incredibly strong. We just don't know exactly what's going to happen yet. Earlier tonight, the waves swept through the Hawaiian Islands. This is a live look at the Waikiki neighborhood on Honolulu, in Honolulu, I should say. The first wave was set to hit there at about 10:10 our time, though we haven't really seen any large waves there. Now, this all started with a powerful 8.8 earthquake off the coast of Russia around 4:30 this afternoon. This is a new photo of some of the damage that we're seeing there. This is in the Kuril Islands, just off the coast of Russia, north of Japan. You can see all of that water there. We have team coverage for you down the entire West Coast tonight as we watch for something here. We are tracking conditions out of Ocean Shores, Washington, Portland, Oregon, and San Diego, California. But we're going to begin with meteorologist Adam Claiborne in the King 5 studios with what we know so far. Adam.
Yeah, good evening, Greg. So like you said, all of this stemming from that large earthquake down off of the coast of Russia, an 8.8, which eventually helped to rock and move this wave of water that's been moving across the Pacific here over the past few hours. Now, one of the first spots, of course, we were keeping an eye on and still are, is down here around Hawaii, where they did have tsunami warnings out. Now, that's a bit of a higher threshold than what we have here closer to the west coast of the United States. We're under a tsunami advisory, and that says upgraded because we were initially under a tsunami watch. A watch basically means that we have the potential of seeing a tsunami. Now that we're noticing, yes, there is a wave, we're under this advisory, and it's kind of just telling us now there could be some strong currents. There could also be a wave or two here or there, but as far as flooding, that's not necessarily expected to be the case, but it's something that we're going to monitor and still take seriously here as we head into the night. As far as some timings with this, La Push around 11:35, so not too long from now. Westport, that wave could be there around 11:55 tonight. Port Townsend getting in closer to about 12:45 tonight, and that extends from here around the Washington coast all the way down towards the southern coast of California. We're going to keep you updated on all of this here and continue to give you the latest as we go throughout the night.
Again, we are watching Hawaii very closely right now. The first waves hit around 10:10 our time, but we didn't see much. So far, that area appears to be okay. King 5's Madison Wade is in Honolulu right now. She recorded what she was seeing from her hotel as she was being evacuated about 6 o'clock tonight.
Hi everyone, Madison Wade here in Waikiki, Hawaii. We're about 20 minutes away from the first waves that are expected to hit from this tsunami threat following that massive earthquake. And so right now we've been told in this hotel to evacuate to higher ground and to stay in the hotel rooms. The hotel actually came across on the intercom and told us that. At one point I did try to leave because I have family friends who live not too far away from here. But the roads were so backed up that I couldn't even get out of the Waikiki area. So right now, the very latest, I'll just flip this camera around so you can see what it looks like here looking out towards the ocean. I'll just zoom in, but we're seeing, just normal waves coming in right now. Those first waves are expected around 7:10. That's according to the Office of Emergency Management here in Hawaii. So we've been getting alerts on our phones every 30 minutes or an hour or so. If anything changes, I'll be sure to let you all know.
Alaska Airlines says it is holding flight departures to the islands for now. Flights that were already in the air going to Hawaii are returning to the mainland or being diverted. If you have plans to travel to the islands, make sure that you check the status of your flight before you head to the airport. Team coverage continues now with King 5's Jim Nelson in Ocean Shores. Jim, you watched as a big crowd left the beach.
Yeah, and that's exactly what emergency management officials do not want to see. They say the big concern is strong and abnormal currents. Beaches are closed here in Ocean Shores as a result. The Grays Harbor Emergency Management Director, Grays Harbor County, I should say, she tells me that they expect the impact could last 12 to 24 hours. Civilian volunteers, the police and fire department have all been out here to keep people away from the water. The forecast calls for a foot or less as far as the wave goes. Emergency management officials say that'll mostly impact the maritime community, people on the water. The good news is this is coming shortly after low tide. They do not expect any serious or damaging inundation, flooding, but they also acknowledge these things can change and they won't really know until they see how it impacts other coastal areas. While people are reminded to take this advisory serious, we have seen plenty of people out and about.
Kind of scary and exciting, just like, oh no, what's gonna happen?
It just makes it exciting, kind of,
Yes.
that we were here to experience this. Yeah.
So the wave is expected here just before midnight, about 10 minutes before midnight. I mentioned those civilian volunteers as well as the police and fire department. They actually just left the area. Somebody with the fire department had been on the beach, presumably making sure that nobody was out there, and then the others were out here on the perimeter to make sure that nobody went in. At this point, they've left. However, the beaches are still closed. They do still have the advisory sign up. They've got the road closed sign up. So again, while they monitor this, they want everybody to stay away from the water itself. We're a couple hundred yards away. We feel pretty safe, and we'll actually be taking off here shortly as we and everyone else monitors this situation. Live in Ocean Shores, Jim Nelson, King 5 News.
Well, it is very rare to have a threat of tsunami waves here in Washington state. Earlier today, we spoke to the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network as we wait to see what this all means for us here in Washington. King 5's Madeline Carter is in the newsroom tonight with those details. Madeline.
Greg, the message from the state seismologist was clear. This is a serious situation because today's earthquake, it is one of the largest ever recorded.
It's probably going to be one of the 10 largest that have been recorded, since seismometers were invented more than 100 years ago. So that's the reason why the warnings are out. That's the reason why people should take them seriously. Again, I'm cautiously optimistic that this will not produce a damaging event along our coastline, but that is certainly far from guaranteed, and people should pay attention to what the information is.
We really want to stress what Harold Tobin just said. Even under an advisory, we're not expecting damage along our coast, but still, the threat is real. Here are the largest recorded in the past 25 years. In 2004, a 9.1 quake triggered a deadly tsunami in Indonesia. 280,000 people died in South Asia and East Africa. And then in 2010, an 8.8 magnitude earthquake in Chile killed 523 people. And then in 2011, a devastating 9.1 earthquake in Japan triggered a massive tsunami. I do want to put these earthquakes into perspective by comparing them to what we've felt here in Washington state. The Nisqually earthquake in 2001 was a 6.8 magnitude, and that was the most dramatic quake in modern history. In the newsroom, Madeline Carter, King 5 News.
We expect to see the first waves hit the Washington coast again in less than 30 minutes. We will have much more coverage on air all night long and on King 5 Plus. You can download that to your TV and watch for free.